Oh my gosh, have you been watching this CR thing? I mean, this is amazing. They put thousands of pages in front of us and they're like, okay, now we're just going to pass this or else the government's going to shut down. And what are you going to do then? Well, Elon Musk, like, heck yeah, let the government shut down because it's not right to put all this pork in there. And we're talking a lot of pork that's in the continuing resolution. So he kind of stirred things up over on Twitter. And before you know it, he's got a tweet like this one out saying your elected representatives have heard you and now the terrible bill is dead. The voice of the people has triumphed. In other words, Elon was able to rattle the cages and get the word out. And all of a sudden everybody looked at this bill and they're like, oh my gosh, what the heck are you talking about? Like, come on. I mean, you get Christmas only a few days away and you guys are trying to stuff this one through. Are you kidding me? I mean, what are the Democrats thinking? What is Chuck Schumer thinking? What are the Republicans thinking that we're willing to go along? Oh, I know. They were going to get a pay raise out of it, right? Well, one of the little items we had Pat Toomey, Senator Toomey, on the show the other day to talk about was this $50 billion giveaway effectively for Big Pharma, right? Like a little stocking stuffer bill that was included in this thing. It was a dramatic expansion of government intervention in the private healthcare market. It was handing Big Pharma this massive profit windfall, and it was at the expense of the American people. So this was kind of a sneak attack, and we were saying this is something that kind of people need to get in front of. And guess what? You guys did. And Twitter helped. I mean, you got every year Big Pharma out there hiking the prices on these drugs because it's good for them, right? The prescription drugs. And they're hiking them at a rate that's way higher than inflation. As you know, drug companies are setting the price, then they're hiking the price, and Americans are locked into these medicines. And what happens if they get in the way and then they don't allow for other companies to negotiate better prices because now the government's suddenly in charge, in cahoots, if you would, with Big Pharma? Well, that's not fair. That's not right. I mean, we shouldn't be having to subsidize the Big Pharma health companies, right? And so this was just one of the many things. I mean, there were people that were concerned about some biolabs that were allegedly being added in there. They didn't like the idea of that. And so again, Elon took to Twitter. He was tweeting everything out. Everybody mobilized. And before you know it, the thing died. Whoopi Goldberg is furious. I mean, why on earth she wanted this continuing resolution that was thousands of pages long with a bunch of stuff that nobody knew about in there, you got me. But now she's out on The View saying, oh, it's all Elon's fault, and maybe Elon's really the one running the government. And then she takes it a step further, and she's like, hey, maybe it really is Elon and J.D. Vance. And I mean, she makes some pretty wild accusations. I'll leave it at that. We'll let her say it. Crazy woman that she is.
Who is in charge? Because I've been saying it for a while.
Yes, you have.
I've been saying that I think Elon Musk believes he's president. I do.
Well, you've been calling him vice president.
I've called him vice president. I called him president because I don't know what JD is doing. I hardly ever. I don't remember the last time we even talked about JD.
You're right. He's planning the presidency when they get rid of Trump.
So you think it's Musk Vance?
Possible.
Hey, you know who? Stay away from the stairways. Because, people put the leg out to trip you going down the stairs. Watch out.
Wow. I mean, you want to talk conspiracy theory, conspiracy theorist. Whoopi Goldberg, I think you have outdone Rachel Maddow. Where's Rachel when you need? Oh gosh, she's off. It's Thursday. Rachel doesn't work on Thursday or Friday or Saturday, Sunday, Tuesday or Wednesday either. She just has one show once a week. For a reported $25 million, she had to take a pay cut, down $5 million for that one show a week. And so Whoopi has to fill the void. Someone has to do it, right? I mean, we just wish it wasn't actually on federally owned airwaves, that they were promoting constant conspiracy theories and truly trying to work, in my estimation, against the American people. That show is, I won't even say the word. I'll spell it. C-R-A-P. That is what that show is, and it doesn't belong on television. You can have an opinion, fine, all right? Go do a podcast, go on to cable, but don't use up our network airwaves with CRAP. So she thinks because Elon, in my estimation, did a very good deed getting in front of this train wreck, she thinks because he did that, that somehow he's controlling the country. I would just add to this, you know what? Elon also wanted Howard Lutnick to be Treasury Secretary because Howard really likes Bitcoin and Elon really likes cryptos, et cetera. And Donald Trump didn't go with that. No. He went with Scott Bessent. Scott Bessent, who wasn't like the MAGA pick, but Scott Bessent, who he probably felt at the end of the day might be better signing our Treasury notes than Howard Lutnick for whatever reason. I have some ideas on why, but we'll leave that for another day. So Howard's great, and now he's Commerce Secretary. Fine. But Elon wanted Howard. And Trump's like, nope, because he actually is his own man. But guess what? His own man that he is was also saying, this doesn't look very good. I mean, when Vivek is out tweeting that as head of Doge, along with Elon, he wants to be able to look at this thing before it passes, and it's some, 1,400 pages long or 1,800 pages long. How does anybody have the time to read it? Well, Vivek did. He did read the whole thing. And he's like, whoa, okay, we don't need this. And so consequently, this thing got stopped dead in its tracks. Finally, people looking out for the American people.
Right now in the past 30 or 40 minutes here that they might try to pull this interim spending bill off the floor and maybe just go with a clean bill. Unclear what that means for disaster assistance. Here's what happened. A post on X by Elon Musk sent shockwaves through the Capitol. House Republicans were trying to see if they have enough votes to pass the spending bill in the next hour or two. Musk posted that anyone who votes yes should lose their office in 2 years, and lawmakers are scrambling. Tweets from Musk and others, has that complicated this?
Well, I mean, I think that there's always a lot of interest in what's happening up here, and
this is more than interest. They're telling people if they vote yes, they should be voted out.
The social media world is a part of our politics, and I think members have to expect that. There will be a lot of hard votes in the next couple of years.
A member of the House Republican leadership told Fox that Musk is not helping. The lawmaker added that Musk has bigger fish to fry than picking a fight with House Republicans. One source said the bill is now bleeding support from the GOP. When asked how many Democrats the GOP needs to pass the bill, a senior aide replied, quote, a lot. Lawmakers who had hurricanes devastate their districts are torn.
The fact is that, look, this is a sandwich. I don't know how else to say that. We're being forced into this position. They could have done a standalone. They did this because they knew that it would put members in this position to support it. We're damned if we do. We're damned if we don't.
Now, the bill has about $100 billion in disaster relief, nearly $30 billion to restock FEMA's coffers, and there are lots of health care provisions. Jamming everything together in one bill means some Republicans will not support Mike Johnson for Speaker in January.
Have any other of your colleagues said that they're not voting for Johnson?
I've talked to a few, who don't seem like they're going to vote for him. You have to ask them. I'm not going to betray anybody's position.
Will you just vote president, or will you vote someone else's?
I'll vote for somebody else.
Now, Johnson can only lose one vote and still win the Speaker's race on January 3rd. Some Republicans ask how things are different with a spending bill like this under Johnson than former House Speaker Kevin McCarthy. The funding deadline is Friday night. Neil?
That was Chad Pergam over at Fox. Really, really good reporter, and kind of lives, sleeps, eats, and breathes this stuff. He gets really excited when it's CR time. I always remember at the end of the year, it's like, oh, Chad, oh gosh. Everybody just wants to go home for Christmas, but he gets stuck there because we always deal with this, right? We always deal with this. Well, finally, somebody's like, hey, we're not going to deal with this. We're going to actually force them to do a clean CR. And then guess what? We can deal with all this other stuff and all the pork when Trump gets into office, which means it's probably not going to happen, right? No, it's not going to happen. And, they're freaking out on The View over it. Why? Like, what is in it for you, Whoopi? Don't you just actually want what's best for the people? I leave that question to you guys. Does Whoopi want what's best for the people? Oh, I'll tell you, ABC needs to cut cut bait, like just out with The View. It needs to end. The show is terrible, as I said. CRAP.